have questions, SRG, kindly facilitate the papers for the questions. Okay, wow. Let's give a hand to Father Ray and for the dedication that he had actually in installing the system. But I had the first-hand experience of witnessing how Father Ray really navigated everything to make things work, Father, right? And for the Dr. Chen's role here is actually to create an impact report of every PDO and an impact report for the whole ecosystem. So I'll get the conversations rolling, but please do ask questions if you do have. So let me ask for Dr. Chen. Looking at the example of Father Ray, where he actually created a lot of transformative change, both what you saw is a product of a lot of things at the back end. And what impact do you see is clear if we have to make an impact report for Magical Mission PDO?
Yes, I think we can do that from two perspectives. One is about the environmental impact, and another one is about the social impact. For the environmental impact, I think we can somehow use many so-called output indicators. Output indicators.
Output indicators. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't need so-called outcome indicator metric to do that. You know, for environmental impact, usually I think those output indicators should be enough, right? But somehow you also improve the well-being, people, stakeholders' well-being. So for that part, I think we have somehow, usually for big project, we'll do some interview first, you know, because there are some unintended outcome could happen to our stakeholder. So usually we do some qualitative interview with the stakeholder to know maybe there's something actually we don't know. And to know the outcome, not only negative, not only the positive one, but also the negative one. So based on this so-called, we know the chain of event happened to the stakeholder and identify the so-called well-defined outcome, and then find suitable measurement, you know, for this so-called social metrics. Yeah, social metrics. So, and whether you need to measure the SRI is another issue. So when we need SRI, actually, when you want to attract funding, if you don't want to attract funding, to me, actually, impact measurement is already enough, you know, because you know, for example, for impact, we usually talk about the scale, right? The depth, the duration, right? Usually this is the impact we want to measure, right? When we talk about scale, it's about how many, right? When you talk about depth, it's about, you know, for each metric, we want to the depth actually as deeper as possible, right? And also, another thing is the duration. The impact can last longer, right? We also need to measure that, right? I think this information probably enough. But when we talk about SRI, it's usually want to attract investor. It's for the capital world. Yeah.
So in other words, there's two different kind of results, impact report, so to speak. If it's for your organization, Father, where you want to see if your programs really helped, that can be at that level. But when you do the SROI report, it is because you want to attract more funding because the problem is not solved yet, right? There are still gaps. Like you're talking about 90,000 people or 190,000 people condensed in that area. And you're talking about how many children are there in shelter that you're able to reach. How many Shelter of Joy centers should be placed in Tondo in order to make the area improving when it comes to progress, right? I have a follow-up question before I ask this question to you. Who makes the impact report? So you're saying from the perspective of the school, you will go to the community to make your research to them, right? is it just the impact report has to be done by a third party, or can their office database officer do the impact report for them?
Okay. For quality management, I think internal, it's okay.
Internal is okay.
But if you want to make that report, maybe to apply for funding or maybe to gain public confidence, probably you need a third party. But it's just for internal decision making. You don't need a third party. Yeah.
Okay, so that's clear. If you want to have it amplified to funders outside, you may have to collaborate with schools that is independent, not connected to your organization, but you really have to do your part because the data will have to come from you initially. Although the school will do their part to research, but you also have to make the baseline. Is that correct?
Right.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Right.
So,
yes. Yeah, because impact measurement is it's important. You just want to make sure whether you keep maximizing your impact. So you don't actually, you can do by yourself. But the problem is whether you have time to do that, right? Whether you have the resource, whether you have the capability to do that. That's a problem usually. Yes. So usually we help NGO NPO to do that because we know you are busy with your mission. Yes, yes.
Father, we have a question here. With all the many initiatives that you do have with your beneficiaries, what is your aftercare? What's aftercare? Maybe what's the second stage of the beneficiaries' journey with the Magical Mission?
For now, before I answer that question, I would like to acknowledge people at the back who is always instrumental helping me. Here, Melanie, nandito. Melanie, can you stand? And also Marjorie, and also Ian, and also with the help of Father Alan, our singer, and also G. So these are my team. Actually, in our aftercare, in a way, for the Canossians, we have already other foundations with for a scholarship that we have already around more than 3,000 graduates. No? And with this, for our Shelter of Joy, we are trying to project also after this, after how many years, when they will finish with their studies, that they can have their also own job, and then we can follow them up, especially the families. But the long term really is to remove them from Tondo, because it's not possible to stay there with that congested area. And hopefully one day they can have decent homes, livelihood, and their own also education. They can study well for the future. Yeah.
Father, with so limited human capital in your office, how did you do all those things? What was the critical steps you did in order to bring in more human capital with you to help? How did you mobilize people?
In our parish, you see, I told them, I cannot do this alone. Because I believe in the mission, we're supposed not to work alone. With a lot of people we have, I think to mobilize with our barangays, we mobilize with our volunteers. Just imagine, during the pandemic, we were able to mobilize around more than 300 volunteers, working how we can feed our people and also to reach them out, even our sacrament celebration. But I think the important thing is relationship. No? Bawal masungit.
Bawal masungit.
To build good relationship. No? Give time to them, care them, love them. And in return, they will also love you. That is why I think my 25th anniversary is also the testament that we were able to raise in just one night around 700 now. I realized money is still coming in. We realized we raised around 800,000 just one night.
And I think just that one night, the reason why funds are still coming in, because the system that they have is already in place. Fast forward, Father Ray becomes General Superior. What happens to Tondo? Father, is Tondo ready for succession? I'm sure we
But
all know that that's Father Ray,
yeah,
right? What if Father Ray is going to be in Rome and is Tondo
uh,
ready?
you know, Glenda, God loves me so much. No? I will not.
Put you to
I will
Rome.
not forget. So, dalawa I have already two minor strokes already. So just imagine with that big cross in my church, no.
So,
Uh,
Father, just for the moving forward, no, we
okay.
all won't be staying in this place forever, but we want to see Tondo scaling up. So, how have you prepared leadership succession?
My own personal view, this is really very difficult. How we can we talk with Father GP with this morning, because we don't have really a succession plan in our religious life. So we are still believing that the Lord will come, the wisdom of this person. So they will just assign there. So this is really a problem. Even I keep on telling our general, please prepare for the succession. Otherwise, all that we labored will just gone.
Father, what do you think is the importance of the system that you installed to be part of the succession? You think it helps?
For now, I think it is really our concern, because I think for all religious men and women, with our system in our church in the succession, this is a very big concern, because it happened already many times when the priest are transferred, also the donors will transfer. The money also will transfer, and the program will collapse. No, we tried. I am still bargaining how we can prepare for transition, because when I took over with Father Carlo, our general now, so I tried to follow him and also try to develop what was his plan before. I didn't have my own agenda, but to make our the former programs they have, just to develop that one. And I think the people are so amenable that it's not something different. But I'm concerned with the other fathers we have, because we don't have training for this.
So I think they have to bank on ensuring leadership and governance is in place, Father. Because I mean, you're very famous in Tondo, and moving forward, we'd have to put that focus on. So we all know that we have the race to net zero, right? And obviously, Father Ray is one of the PDOs who will be taking the lead to bring in projects of the ecosystem to be supported in our campaign. How can we apply as a PDO for the net zero program?
Okay, I think I talked already to Don. The important thing before applying, uh, we have to set a very basic baseline. Uh, what is this? In our part, because it's very difficult to monitor with 90,000 people, so we just rely on our barangay officials, and also with our constituency. Some of them are willing also to join, and also our volunteers in our parish. So it's just simple that I ask, just give us the data of your electricity bill, and also the data of your water bill, so that we can campaign, we can try to inject how we can be more aware of what is going on in in our country, in our world. So just to follow, if we try to give your campaign information, but still your water bill is going up, we are not effective. Or our electricity bill is still going up, we're not effective. Then we have to really to strategize with your given bill how we can lower this one. So that is just a basic thing. But at the same time, with the campaign, it will be also for with your community, with our small community. We try to rely with the coalition of the willing, because we cannot force a lot. Start small. I think start small, and then we can, as we go along, we can strategize with the help also in the campaign.
Father is talking about renewable energy. This is solar. So for those who are interested to go into the solar renewable energy and access for this, if you have big convents, schools, we will be giving a survey of information that you could fill in there, so that Father Ray and the team will analyze that. And of course, the SRG Foundation with Father Gerald and the team will be working closely along with the other consultants to make sure that the PDOs interested will take the concrete steps moving forward. For those who are global PDOs, you are also part of this campaign. For this, the supplier of the solar panel will be part of a grant fund that will be supported to install, so that whatever you save will already, Father, go to the scholarship program, because Dr. Mark was saying installing solar is not yet an impact.
Yeah.
He told me it's not yet impact. You're not gonna say impact on that. The impact is, so what if you save? Where did the savings go,
Just
right?
to add something, what happened, why we have the solar panel. These donors came to us, and then he told me, Father, if I will give you this amount of money, maybe few months they're gone. What about we try to install your solar panel, and then when you have the solar panel, what savings you have, then 80% of that will go to your social impact activities, and 20% will be given to the administration.
Administration.
So with this, we are just lucky because Chevron came and also another donor came. So we have around 2.2 million that is given to start our solar. And with the company also that is helping us, so they gave us also 1.5 million to 1.1 million, just to, we will amortize it, so that by after 7 years, then that will all will be given to the parish. And the more we can have for 8 to 25 years, we can have a bigger amount for our pastoral activities.
What Father Ray made is the report, the impact report, our version of the impact report on savings for advocacies to the funders, so that more funders will do the same. Father Ray, actually, when we were doing this, we wanted to take the lead. So the next PDO was the Canossian Sisters, I think, and we will move this to the rest of the other PDOs in the pipeline. Is that okay?
Yeah, by the way,
Yeah,
the
okay.
Canossian Sisters, we have already their school
Yeah, we started
under
already.
ongoing construction. I think it will be finished by August. That will be 100 kilowatt
Mm-mm.
for savings also for the school. So that
So,
they can
yeah.
give to the scholarship of the children.
Okay, so down to my last question because of the interest of time. So Father Ray is just an example of one of the many PDOs who have showcased several models of sustainability. From the simple donor who wanted to give, to the conversion of that donor to rather put it in solar rather than just give it one time to do feeding, was a very concrete approach on financial planning, maximizing the value of money. So for the PDOs who have models like Father Ray, for example, Father JP on the Chameleons, they've designed something for health, or the IPSED have designed something for housing, or the Carmelite have designed something for bamboo initiatives. Put that on the table, because your model will trailblaze an impact story. So more and more PDOs who are aligned in the same structure can easily be attracted for support and access to capital. So yeah, so I hope that is an inspiration to everyone, and this is for both of you, and maybe this can also, you can also give now your key takeaway. But for the information of everyone, Dr. Mark, since last year we've been trying to work on how to do impact report for the ecosystem. We're going to start the one for capacity building. So the 7-pillar model, as a result of that, what was the impact? It's not about yet the training, but it's about how did it bring out to Father. Pero sabi ni Father, di pa siya confident sa succession. So we're not yet there because the system should not be dependent on the person. If the system is in place and institutionalized, whoever covers the ano, it should run. It should be fuel already, Father. So maybe that's the next step, no, to scale. So how do we make a project proposal more attractive to funders? And maybe from the perspective of Dr. Mark, it could be on the impact measurement. And for you, Father, on the perspective of having a system in the 6-7 pillar that would lead to confidence of the donor that you're not going to depend on them. And you can also share your key takeaway. Let's start with Dr. Mark.
Okay, so I think you heard a lot about impact and also impact fund and impact report. I have to say maybe 90% of them actually are not real impact. Okay, they are not following international standard. Actually, what they say, most of them actually just from very immature or output-based approach, not very standard or evidence-based. So I think the key takeaway first is don't be afraid, about doing impact measurements. If this is you really want to make change, you also have to believe methodology. You also have to somehow keep tracking. I know many NGO NPO in Taiwan. They dedicated their whole life for the mission, maybe for decades. But most of them actually, after 20, 30 years, the only thing they have is about lots of photo, right? But of course, this photo can show some evidence about what they contribute to the society. But if we can somehow also have some real data to maybe contribute to the statistic, about what we really contribute to society, I think this is one thing we can start and also make our proposal report different than the others. Okay, that's my one key takeaway. Yes.
So we are hoping really that you can help us with that, Doctor. No, no, my takeaway this one, just like you, many of us, we are always looking for funds. No, I think some of you are coming here because they wanted to bring something when you go home. But to tell you the truth, I'm already 8 years here with this RG. That is why we are able to build this one. But my principle is that what Jesus told us, to ask, seek, knock. If you don't know, then ask. No? Because you cannot just pretend, we cannot just pretend that we knew everything. But seeing my reality in Tondo when I arrived, there's nothing. So I believe God is giving us the sun, then we can have an energy with the solar. God is giving us the water, then we can have water harvesting. And God is giving out garbage, then we can make it as compost. No? So there is always possibility that to think always that there is something good that God is giving us. And then lastly, the tendency for us when we are in front of problems, we complain. And it's easy for us to pinpoint who is the culprit, why it happened. And now I'm assigned here. And when I prayed to God, why I have also this kind of tendency. And I felt that God is telling me, that is why I put you there. You have to do something for it.
Father, just to complete this question, what made your project proposal get approved over and over and over again?
It's miracle,
Come
You
on.
see, yeah. To tell you that the truth is, it's not because I was approved. I experienced also
You prayed
a lot of rejection.
rejections.
No?
There you go.
So if you are not rejected, then you will not have also project to be approved. No?
Yes.
Never give up. Never give up. Just few even Missio, like for example, Missio, we are given around this more than 450,000 euro. But it's not just because we submitted, But we submitted also some, many of proposals, but that was also rejected. It bleeds my heart. But maybe it's not time that God will give us. I keep again ask, seek, and knock again. Continue, just continue. Don't give up.
There may be the success story, but behind that were challenges. So it takes a heart, patience, and to share the narrative to be able to have a successful impact in this journey. Thank you. Thank you so much, Father Ray and Dr. Mark.